When it comes to player death, I don't know if you guys want to jump into that right now, because there's a lot of things that you got to make sure you cover before you start taking out PCs, you know?
Yeah, PCs is definitely more difficult compared to NPCs, just because, like, you could always it's easy to bring an NPC up to that level that it was at when it died, but, like, a player character is a completely different deal.
Yeah.
And just the simple fact of, like, if you're a person who's trying not to metagame, or you have somebody who, like, subconsciously, accidentally, you know, whatever it is, metagames a lot. If their player dies and they bring in that new player, it becomes that much harder to keep that all sealed in. And that's not even dealing with if there is resurrection or not in your campaign. That's just the natural thing you're gonna have to deal with.
Yeah, the big thing that it comes down to is talking about it before you really start playing in your session 0, if that's how you operate, and also communicating with the players in general. You know, if it's like, hey, this is a reality, like, I'm not gonna intentionally go out and try and kill you, but if it happens, it happens. And also some DMs have a very specific way of doing things, like, or just game masters in general. Like, I am totally in agreement with, if you're fighting a savage beast, even though it just dropped you, it should still probably hit you again.
Yeah.
It should probably try and make sure you're dead, especially if it's a smart one.
Yeah, and that gets into, you know, there's a website that I have frequented before. The Monster Knows What They're Doing is the title of the website. The people over there, they do a great job of looking at monsters and trying to give a breakdown. Like, hey, this monster has an intelligence of a 14, you know? It's gonna recognize what a threat is, you know, or it's gonna recognize what the weakest link is in your defense, you know. And I think that's something that needs to be brought into effect. And you know, a lot of the times people have died recently in my games, it's been because of, you know, there was some effect that was continuing to happen in the area that hit them while they were incapacitated. You know, like a poison gas or something like that, or cloud kill, or, you know.
Yeah, those get you.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's just certain times where like, they say this, you know, they say, like, oh, you know, did DMs do they ever hold their, you know, do they ever pull their punches?
Oh, all the time.
Do you ever fudge something because it's gonna, you know, it's gonna break the game? Are you gonna TPK your whole party because you mismanaged your monster, or are you gonna, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, I try not to be that way, but there's been situations where I'm like, I'm trying to think 5 steps ahead, and I'm like, this is just gonna get bad, you know? Like,
and it has gotten bad.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. And
sometimes you gotta just let your, like, it's one of those things, you gotta let your party figure it out. Like, how much do you pull your punch before you're just spelling it out, run away?
Yeah. Well, I'm very much on the opposite notion of where Cody is. Like, I don't pull them very much. I sometimes, like, if you start pulling that punch back, I'm gonna just let it release and let it hit somebody real hard, because sometimes it's the only way, you know. I've had I mean, when we first started playing, we started playing in my living room at, I think it was 13, and I was the dungeon master for a very long time in our teenage years, not only with this group but with others. And you know, fortunately and unfortunately, I have taken out quite a few PCs. I've seen all the sides of what can happen when you take out a player character. I've also had my characters taken out. Yeah, there's a lot that can happen, you know.
Yeah.
And you really gotta, you know, if you just take out a player for no reason, like you're just targeting them, that's bad management. That's not good.
Yes,
it's not good.
And
at all.
and even if you're targeting a whole party, that's bad management. I mean, I remember us.
Oh, how are you supposed to play the game then if you're not attacking the party?
It's DM versus party, man. Come on.
Well, everybody knows that. But I'm just saying, in those older times, I remember a certain time when we were playing 3.5. Oh, you're all level 2. Go fight this dragon. And it's like,
That was the second
yeah,
or third
sure.
time we ever played. So
Yeah.
nice to way to turn that one.
Yeah, but you learned. You learned, Frank.
No, I
you know?
didn't.
Steve never
I
learned.
didn't.
Steve did
I
not.
never.
I've killed
Oh
Steve
my
the
God.
most out of every.
Yeah, I've
player
died more
I've
than
ever had.
anybody because
I'm pretty sure I've killed
Yeah.
Steve the most amount of times too.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's also because I like didn't know what I was doing, but like at the same time, like, you know, as a tip for dungeon masters, if you have somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, maybe don't put them into a situation where they're going to get, you know, murdered instantly.
And to counter
let
that
them
point,
live.
if you're that person, don't put yourself in that situation if you can help it. So
well, if you
Double-edged
can't help it,
Yeah, that's the whole. That's you could give and take on that all day because you know the dungeon master has a responsibility to know the rules. The players should know what's on their sheet. They should know what they're capable of doing.
and the
you
player
know,
should
like-
do everything they can not to put themselves in front of the dragon right before it shoots out that blast, especially if that player has has got that dragon's full attention.